Today's episode, Empire is the Way. I talked to AJ. This is a person that I've seen at the gym, very consistent. And, I just felt compelled to talk to him about his life. I've seen him train very hard. So we speak on training. We speak on overcoming obstacles, pretty much moving from Boston to Miami. We talk about nutrition. We talk about his early life, get to know him, and his training style, his method, his philosophy on life. And really, even we touch a little bit on the politics side. So check out the episode. Drops Friday night, 8 p.m., along with every other Empire is the Way episode now. YouTube at Empire is the Way. Check it out. Leave me some comments. And who knows, maybe you might be on the next Empire is the Way. I'll check you guys later. Peace.
My first steroid cycle leading into my first show was 800 mgs of Trembolone, 800 mgs of Masteron, and 1,000 mgs of test.
I think that the real enemy is confusion. Anything that tries to confuse you is kind of like
I was selling cocaine, and
Today, here we got AJ. Empire is the Way all day, every day. And he's been training people, changing lives for the past 10 years, doing the fitness thing. You catch him at Elevation. I've seen this guy be consistent. And honestly, I just wanted to have a one-on-one, really get to know him, his philosophy, a little bit about his life. And hey, bro, thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate you having me, dog.
Absolutely, brother.
Appreciate it.
So how's your day, man? How's your
It's
day?
good, man. It started 6:30 at the gym, So I saw you not too long ago, a couple hours. Got a workout in and shit, and here we are. I've been looking forward to this. It's good.
6:30, you get to the gym at 6:30 every day? Or
Pretty much every day, yeah. Every day, 6:30 is the first client.
What's your routine like? Like, what time are you waking up?
I wake up typically around 5 a.m. I'll have breakfast around 5:15, 5:30 while I'm getting ready and shit. And then get out the door, go to my first client 6:30. Usually rock like at 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. And then I'll eat again, do a little bit of cardio, and then go back in for another 2-3 sessions. And then train myself. We usually good for the day after that.
So, after speaking to a couple of trainers and different things, like, is it hard to train in the same gym you're training people at? Is that something that's a challenge or?
That's a good question. Yeah. So I've been doing this for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So by that being said, it's been a journey. So sometimes you have those days when you're just like, oh, I want to fucking work out. You're with your clients and you're like, hey man, you mind if I hop in for a set? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like that was how I was in my younger days. Now my philosophy to it is I gotta exit the building and come back. So if I have it'll take me a half hour sometimes, I'll just go for a walk around the block, kind of clear my head, come back in, get some sunlight, and then I'm good to go.
What type of people you've trained? I'm sure you train different, I've seen it. You train people from different walks of life, different, maybe some that are, amateurs when it comes down to the physical shape and stuff like that. But what are you training now? What would you say your specialty is as a trainer?
Well, that's the thing, bro. My specialty is whatever walks through the door and throw it at me. Because I've done everything. That's what I pride myself on, you know what I'm saying? Just from my past of where I came from as being a trainer. The first job I ever had, there was 43 other trainers on staff. And my first job was at Sports Club LA, kind of just picking up weights and putting it away, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from doing that for 6 hours a day, I got really good at watching and learning. So I would watch all these different trainers. I would see all right, this guy got muscle. He's doing his chest looked good. Let's see what he does for chest. And then I see this dude with glasses who's really smart, you know what I'm saying? And he would be good with stretching and stuff, and I pay attention to him. So I just kind of grab all these little knowledge, and I would try to be like a sponge almost. So I took a little bit from everything, and I just kind of made my own philosophy out of it. It's been working.
That's super dope. So you were doing that, I think you told me, in Boston, right?
Correct. Yeah, to start. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been here in Miami.
Going on 5 years now.
Going on 5 years. So the first 5 years of your training career were in Boston, so to speak?
Correct. Yeah. Well, really, it's been a solid 4 in Miami, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's been a solid 4 for sure.
What got you into the fitness world? How did you kind of?
I was a fat kid growing up. Just like everybody else's story. But there's a lot of shit to it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what like the first thing that pops into my memory that I remember is like I was chunky in like younger ages, like kindergarten type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this kid, I'll never forget his name, Luke Nagel, who like called me fat on a what was it like when you go on like with your class on field trips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He called me fat on a field trip, and my
Right.
mother was the chaperone, and my mother was like, "Go kick his ass."
Yeah.
And that's the first time I got suspended from school.
And did you go kick his ass?
I did. Yeah.
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 I feel too bad, man. I remember I used to have this dude, bro. He used to call me football head, but I was like, yeah,
For real. Everybody's got that one bully, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got that one bully, bro.
But for some reason you keep that and the lights are firing.
Dude,
I
I
like you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. My memory is fucking crazy. Like I remember shit like a lot, like just based off of like how I came up, like I was raised. I can remember things like I pride myself on my memory, but it's kind of weird, like the things I remember sometimes.
Yeah.
But like everything had a purpose for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kid calling me fat, like made me want to like obviously lose weight, and then that shit started with like I remember like going with my mom. She would drive to like CVS and go in and pick up. She used to do scrapbooks, so she would develop photos and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I would go into like the supplement aisle and like steal the Fat Loss pills. I'd like pocket that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just like wanted to lose weight.
Yeah.
Me, you know what I'm saying?
How old were you at these times?
Bro, shit, I was kindergarten, 6, 7, 8.
6, 7 years. Yeah, so you were
6, 7, 8 years old. Yeah.
You were dealing with that. But now thinking back, what would happen if he never did that?
I don't fucking know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't really know.
You
Yeah,
know?
you know what I'm saying? It would have been a whole different person.
Right. Maybe you wouldn't even be in Miami.
No, but facts. No,
You
you're
know
not
what I'm
wrong.
saying?
You're not wrong, bro. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So,
but yeah, that stuff, like, obviously that started it out.
Yeah.
And then kind of like through anger, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would just got into fitness because it was my path to not doing anything stupid.
Yeah.
So I find myself in the gym a lot. I didn't have the best family life growing up, stuff like that. So I was able to trigger my anger into positive things into my body.
Yeah.
And then I started educating myself on proper things and all that with nutrition and styles of training and, and here we are.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And that believe it or not, like is they call it the butterfly effect. A little thing somewhere in the other side of the world changes everything.
Facts, bro.
All the people's lives who you changed at some level were also part of that journey. You know what I'm saying? So right now you're training different people. Who is your favorite type of client to train and why?
My favorite type of client is like someone like you, to be honest with you. Someone who's like already in good shape, who's been doing it a long time, who just wants to take their body to the next level. Because there's always little tweaks and whatnot and things that like I train bodybuilders, I train professional athletes, I've trained, people who are trainers. And they always learn something from me. Always.
Yeah.
There's always a take-home message or something, like whether the angles or the intensity or the slowing, or just like little things by critiquing when you're pressing. Instead of just pressing without like thinking about things, if you think about mindfully pushing your shoulders down, arching your back, and like tucking your elbow in, it gets bigger contractions. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Yeah. So like people like you though, like we do this shit all day. We do it all the time. So you go to the gym, you do the same thing, you go through the same routine, you get stuck in it. And then like sometimes like this is what like people are okay with that, or if you want to take the next level, those are the type of people I love messing with. Yeah. Those are great.
Is there something to be said about the people who already, because I would think if somebody's in some type of fitness, let's just say, they come in, are they like a know-it-all, or are they humble because they're getting the training? Like,
you're asking a good question.
I mean, I'm
that's why
curious.
I'm in Miami, dog. Because in Miami, people fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People look like me and you and whatnot. Like, definitely in the beginning stages of my career, dog, it was literally like, I don't even know how to fucking explain it to you. Like, it was like, who wants to be a millionaire? Like, you're getting like hammered with questions. Like you would go in sometimes being like especially being like a 22-year-old trainer, asking for like $120 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Teaching these people, like going to their apartment buildings and stuff like that too. They would just like, people from Boston, bro, they're different.
How so?
Just the way we're raised and shit. Like maybe just like the way the weather changes and all that. There needs to be a purpose behind things, and entitlement is very strong. just like the attitude is different. Like you would tell someone to do something and they might not like want to do it. You know what I mean? And you need to explain to them the proper reasoning behind doing it and what it's going to get us to the result that you ultimately want.
Yeah.
So like I've learned to kind of like hold people's hand and just give them what they need to hear in order to get them to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
know
because you
what I'm saying?
almost gotta almost babysit in a way, no?
Yeah, in a
Kind
way,
of?
kind of, bro.
Kind of?
I mean, you just got to be like a chameleon, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to be able to like read people. Like, not everyone's gonna be consistent, especially like, you know, shit happens in life. Like, you get in fights with your girl, or maybe something happens, or you get in your car on the way to the gym, and you're in a bad mood. Like, my job is to like try to make that shit not happen and just focus on what we're doing.
Yeah, on the moment.
Yeah.
What is your I would say what is your technique to be able to do that? Because we always get shit that happens to us daily, right?
Facts.
So what is your, how do you get to that place where you need to?
Experience, man. It's about like the shit I've been through in my life. I know kind of like how to read people. And like, you know, like I mentioned a little bit before, I was in the nightclub industry. So I do a lot of watching. Like I can see, like kind of, you know, see what's going on, read the room. And make your actions based on that. That definitely is like part of, I think, like if you want to be a good trainer or a good coach or just like a good mentor or a good anything like that, you can't just like write a fucking book and say, do this. Like you can, but like shit changes all the time. Everyone's different. Butterfly effect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same shit. So like you got to be able to, you know, even though I don't have anything in common with some of these people, you can always relate to them in some sort of way. So you try to paint that commonality so there's mutual respect. And then they're more willing to do the shit you want.
Yeah. Nutrition versus physicality in the gym. Which one is more important?
It's tough too. Definitely. So like based off me, bro, like I wish I knew the whole nutrition aspect to it. To answer your question, I would say they go hand in hand with each other pretty equally. If I like had a gun to my head and I had to say pick one, I would probably say nutrition, because food is what gives you energy in order to do anything. Like if you're not like feeding yourself and fueling your body, you can't do anything in life, let alone go to the gym. So for me, we kind of go back on like the past stuff. I had like an addiction to pain probably for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like I can say confidently for at least like 2-3 years out of my life, I did 2 days at the gym. I go either like in the morning before school or after school, and then later at night, you know what I'm saying? And then on the weekends, same shit. And it was more just like, just to say, it was kind of teaching myself accountability. But I would go there and I would do high reps. I would test things out. I do a lot of exercises. And you look at me now and I'm, you know, there's a lot of dudes that were bigger than me. The problem is with me is that I wouldn't eat. I would go there. I'd be at the gym for 4 hours. I'd fall in love with it. And then like some shit would happen in the neighborhood. I'd have to go do something or whatever. And
Priorities. Yeah. So, okay. So nutrition, because, you know, I've heard like, for example, you hear all types of different things. You ask 10 different people a question and you get 10 different answers, so to speak. But typically what I've heard is like nutrition is typically 75%, working out is 25%. Now I'm not saying if you don't work out, obviously you're not going to get the benefits of looking good, right?
Correct.
And being healthy. But you are what you eat, right? So at the end of the day, if you're eating like shit and you go and train half-ass, eating like shit is really if you eat like shit, let's say I eat like shit, and I go train the rest, am I gonna be able to get in shape or no?
You'll never look the way you want to look. You'll never reach that full potential of like what you want, what in your mind, like what you think is right, like what you would see in a magazine. You're never gonna get that if you just suffer and push yourself and like don't do the nutrition aspect and just train. You'll never get there. It's facts, because like the body, bro, it's just the way it works. It's science. You got to feed yourself. Like pre and post workout nutrition is everything. Like the way I like to explain to people too is like, think your body is like literally obviously like a foundation of a house. So like when we're trying to add muscle to it, we want to like throw some concrete in there and then we're going to start slabbing it up, right? So in order to throw concrete in there, like I'll do something like I'll tell people to eat like 100 grams of jasmine rice before a workout. So what the jasmine rice does is a fast glycemic white rice is a fast carb. It goes right into your bloodstream, go right into the muscle. So once that shit goes into your muscle, we start training about 30 minutes later. Theoretically, when we're training, say we're doing biceps, every time you're lifting, you're making little micro tears into the muscles. So what the rice is doing is rushing into those little micro tears and repairing them bigger. So the whole idea behind it is like, if we can eat before and after in order to replenish those tears, that's what's going to give you the ultimate effect.
Got you.
So like for people who are trying to lose weight, get lean and stuff, there's like the keto diet, which is like, there's a time and a place for everything. But I'm a huge like advocate of like pre and post workout nutrition.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Manipulating carbs before and after the workout.
That's actually the first time I hear about the rice. Now, 100 grams is what? Like just like a little bowl full type?
100 grams of carbs. I tell people, like, just to put it in your mind, you know what Uncle Ben's jasmine rice is? Like the ready packets. I got one in my bag.
I'll check it out. But anyway,
it's like a ready packet. More or less, that whole packet is like 100 grams of carbs.
100 grams. So it's a lot bigger than this cup full of rice.
Oh, facts. Yeah, it's probably like two cups. Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
right around 2 cups.
2 cups. You just eat the rice and you just kind of like go to town.
Correct.
Because you wanna build a foundation before you start.
Yeah, you're trying to slap some shit in there. Because if we're just going in off of like, I don't know, like for example, someone who trains at say 10 o'clock, right? Maybe they'll have breakfast at 6 or 7 a.m. and then they're going to the gym at 10. If they're trying to gain muscle or get bigger any sort of way, I would tell them to do some carbs 30 minutes before, even though we've had that meal one. Yeah. If we were to not have the carbs before and we're just going in fasted from 7 a.m. until say 10 a.m., you know what I'm saying? There's a time and a place for that too. Say that the client or somebody already has some unwanted body fat, maybe we wouldn't do any pre-carbs, you know what I'm saying?
Right, depends on the client.
It depends on the client, yeah, for sure. But like, we want to, if you're coming in from 7 and you're going to 10 and you're going straight to the gym and then you're working out, the whole like theoretical term, like the way I think of it behind it is that your body is already, especially me, like this is just the way I work for sure. Cause like I stay pretty lean. So like I can tell when my body like needs food in order to work. It's like a little light bulb goes off. When you have your metabolism set up the proper way, you can you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. So like, like halfway through that workout, you're just gonna start shutting down or like not feel as potentially like what you could be. Really, you're just not building to your full potential is what I'm trying to say.
And at this point, you already know your body, so everything to you is more intuitive, probably. Facts. Yeah. It's really like you know what works, what doesn't at the end of the day, right?
A lot of trial and error, brother.
Yeah. Shit ton. So what made you come to Miami and start a new journey here, training people here?
So honestly, dog, COVID, man. In Boston, I was pretty set up. Like I would walk down the street. I grew up there, so I walk down the street, everybody, at least 10, 12 people say, "What up, AJ?" You know what I'm saying? Now it's cool because now that happens here, which I'm very grateful for. But pretty much like, COVID, man, happened. Like I was established in Boston. That's like a whole nother fucking story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I started dating a girl like maybe 6 months into COVID, and she worked for the Hilton hotels. So make a long story short, like when the hotel shut down.
You can make it long if you want.
Oh, my guy.
Oh, good.
All right.
So go for it, man.
So anyway, my girl, she's still my girl to this day. Okay. She works for the Hilton, right. And the hotel shut down and shit. So pretty much we lived in the fucking Hilton. Yeah. Like we had this whole hotel to ourselves and we just worked in the fucking Hilton gym during COVID.
That's pretty dope.
Facts. And maybe
here.
No, this is in Boston.
Oh, in Boston.
So this is in Boston. Okay, my bad. And then even I'm getting a little ahead of myself because maybe like when we first started dating, like maybe like 2 or 3 months into it, she actually is the first person who ever took me to Miami. And we stayed in South Beach at the Hilton Bentley. And that was like...
So she popped your Miami cherry.
She popped my cherry, yeah. And I was like, whoa, this is life? Like, fuck. Like, yeah. So then I was like, damn, bro. Like, I was honestly planning on moving to Vegas the next year anyway. Right. But then when I met her, we kind of like, COVID happened and shit. We had that time in the hotel to chill and talk. And then we were like, damn, let's just do it. So we packed up the whip. And first place ever in Miami, we lived in a little Art Deco building in South Beach. Amazing. Fell in love with it. Yeah.
So what keeps you here?
The business, the people, the culture, everything, man. The fucking lifestyle, dude. Like, Boston is cool and shit, but like, you get complacent when you're around this people you grew up with or like your family, like, I'm very grateful for my path. I wouldn't take anything back. But like I feel like if I went back there and tried living there now, like I'd just go crazy. Like I mean, there's a reason why you leave in the first place. And it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I've heard other people say this shit before, but like I kind of knew from like a young age that I just didn't belong there, you know. So like it all kind of made sense.
Yeah, and then and at some level, it's almost like taking a step back, you know, kind of.
Yeah,
At some level.
yeah, facts.
Yeah,
You just
so-
kind of got to make your move, man. It's either like, is this going to be it for the rest of your life, which you easily could like suffer. Like it's not that you suffer. You could easily press the button and just fall into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things like that test you throughout the process of like moving. You know?
Yeah.
Like I was with this girl that I'm with now. She's great. The one I was with before was like I was with her for like 4 years. She was like 6 years older than me, and she's the one who like kids, married, this shit. Like getting away from her was like fucking it's hard. Really? You know what I'm saying? So you could have easily have just like got her knocked up and then stayed there and had a personal training business and been fine. You know, chilled in Boston, but very grateful for where we're at.
Yeah, it seems like choosing what's comfortable eventually kills you in some type of way. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Being uncomfortable is a blessing. Like,
but I think there's a time, like there's a different type of person, facts too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like some people choose that life and that's fine. That's their path.
For sure.
That's their thing. But like I was always different.
Yeah.
I feel like you can relate to that.
I definitely could. I mean, I've had my own journey, but at some level, it's like there's always a fight too, because you kind of sometimes get in a comfortable situation and you're like, okay, this feels good. And then you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me snap back out of it. You know, it's funny how you said in Miami, sometimes it's like dream world. I gotta like kind of go back into Boston to like get a what makes Miami a dream world? Like a fantasy land. Is that what you call it?
It's a fantasy land. It's not real life.
It's literally like living here, though.
Yeah, I love it. Like I live it. I mean, I indulge in it. Don't get me wrong. I live in a fucking sky rise and I do all that shit too. But it's like the cool thing about it is like I never thought that I'd have any of this shit that I have today. And I'm very, very grateful for it.
Absolutely.
And I've come a long way to have what I have. But then you look down the street and there's, you know how it is, bro. There's fucking Lambos and everything and all this and like people that have things more than you. And it's not about the material things. It's really about like life and like what life takes you. But to go back to what we're talking about with the fantasy land shit, I mean, bro, we both go to the same gym. You look in the parking lot, there's like free, I mean, you know, we talked about it. It's like all these Rolls Royces and shit. It's like, and then these people get out the whips and they're just like, I mean, sometimes, I've had conversations with people and they're very respectable people. I respect everybody. But, you know, some people say, how the fuck did you get this? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you didn't do half the shit I did to like, you know what I'm saying? So like, you can't get caught up in like, he's got this, he's got that. It's like, bro, if I get to go home and hug my girl, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's very, very humble, very, you know, there's something to be said about enjoying that peace and just enjoying the little things, you know? I'm like that with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I could, you know, lose all this shit. It doesn't really matter to me. It really doesn't, to be quite honest with you, because I could go out and build it again.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I have the ability to do it because I have the mind. I prepared myself for it. I don't wish it happens.
No, you are. No, of course, you
know?
don't wish that upon anybody. No. But like you are who you are at this point. And the thing is, like, I mean, bro, I just turned 31, like maybe 2 weeks ago, August 12th. And anyway,
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. But anyway, like being 30, I mean, once you turn 30, I don't know, people say weird shit, but like, you definitely, I don't even really know where I'm trying to go with that anymore. I just, like, I was definitely learning. I'm still learning to this day, and I love learning. That's like my favorite thing in the world to do. But I'm very confident in who I am, and I know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all this shit, like we got 10 years, 20, I mean, more than that, 20 years doing shit, like, and being confident in who you are, kind of figuring things out.
Yeah.
And now this is it. And now it's like, people can see that and respect it. And maybe I'm talking differently too, because I've been in this industry for 10 years and I'm just 31. Yeah. So I started really in it when I was like, 20, 21 years old. Like I wasn't even able to drink yet. And I was just like watching people fucking in the city, like, I'm not from this. I'm like from like not so like outside of the city in like a not so nice place. You know what I'm saying? So I used to like go in there and just be like, whoa, this is fucking nuts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no one respected me, and people walked by me and they treated me like shit. And it was cool because where I lived, that never happened. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of liked that, like, because it was cool. I got to go there and go under the radar and like kind of work my way up to the point where like, I mean, half my life I had to, I mean, when I was like, I lied about my age. I said I was 27, probably from like 21 to 27.
Yeah. Probably still
just to get the respect, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. Just so people are like, oh, this kid,
Yeah. And that's the thing about, like, you know, when it comes down to it, like us men, we got to earn our way. Otherwise, it just doesn't count. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But after changing, like, what is the greatest lesson that you've taken after being 10 years in the game, changing people's lives? You know, what do you think is the greatest lesson that you've learned from that aspect?
It's a really hard question, man. I mean, there's so many lessons I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe somebody's life with you impacted that left a lasting impression on you, you know?
Oh, shit, ton. So many people, bro. So many people. Oh, man, so many fucking people. Like, sorry.
Nah,
But like, yeah, facts. Very grateful for that.
it's well deserved, you know?
I mean, just one story I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I can. This kid out. So I ran my business out of this gym, Gold's Gym in South Boston. It was a fucking tough neighborhood, a lot of tough, like there was fights in the parking lot all the time and shit.
Mm-hmm.
One night, this cute little old lady, like, no, cute, like, whatever. She's like my mom, right? Comes in and says that she wants a trainer for her son. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll take whatever. I'm just like a young, hungry kid. I'm like, I'll take your money, whatever. To have your son come in. And she's talking to me. Her name was Mary. I still talk to her to this day. And her son, Oliver, he had terminal brain cancer. And she came in and fucking, you know, paid me like $1,000 up front. I maybe trained the kid like 2 times, then he died. But like every time I trained him, man, that kid was just so happy. Like he loved it. Like that just really like made me happy, you know. That's just like one little fucking story out of a shit ton of crazy shit.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was like just a sad story. I don't even know why that came into my head. I think because a Facebook memory maybe happened like a couple of months ago, and it was at that gym, and I texted this lady saying like, "Hey, thinking of you."
Yeah. No, and that's actually one of the best stories I've heard when it comes down to training. You know.
There's a lot of that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, before that, I worked at David Barton Gym. This is actually kind of, I don't know if we ever talked about this, but that's kind of how Angel and I vibe too, because like I worked for David Barton as well.
Was it the one in
I worked. There was one in Boston, but
Uh-huh.
I actually went to New York and I trained at that one that he worked at. Like I did my like employee type shit there, and we must have crossed paths, but I don't really remember. But like I'm sure we did. And then I ran the one in Boston. I didn't run it, but I worked there.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being top 5 in the company at like 23 years old, something crazy.
Now, David Barton was a big gym for a while.
It's huge, bro.
Right?
Yeah, they just opened another one in New York. The guy
Just
now, just like maybe 2 months ago. So the dude David Barton's like a real guy. He's a bodybuilder, like a 1980s bodybuilder, and the gym that we went to, like the one in Miami, New York, all that gym was owned by him, but he sold it to like a company or whatever, and then they actually went bankrupt. So he sold his name to like other people. So his name's not even affiliated with himself anymore.
Right.
But that shit died like maybe a couple of years back. So now he's trying to redo it. He had another gym in New York too called Temple.
The Temple? Just Temple?
TEMPL. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now he's got David Barton back. Is that what it is? And he's trying to. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So what did you learn working at because I would assume at that point it was very professional. I would think. What type of lesson, like, is there something that you learned by being in a corporate professional environment that you were able to take outside into your training?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I can tell you a good story about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this other dude, bro, like there's so many clients I could talk about. Like that could literally be like 3 days worth of stuff. Like it just keeps coming in my dome.
But you know what's good?
Uh-huh.
That's the type of thing that you got to remind yourself of, because those are the lives you're changing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's great.
And I forget about some of them.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I forget about a
course.
lot of them, bro.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them. But I'm sure they don't forget about me.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
better
yeah.
not.
Sure.
But as for the corporate environment, like David Barton was cool, bro. To be honest with you, David Barton was like a little more like, well, like you could kind of do what you wanted. I mean, I don't know about how it was in New York, but the motto of it, just remember, is look better naked.
Mm-hmm,
So it was like, I mean, we wore shirts like this to work, and it was like mad chill. Like coming from a real corporate environment, they fucking hated David Barton. We were like the ugly stepchildren. But my first job was Sports Club LA. I don't know if you ever heard of that brand.
It sounds very familiar. That's the one where you said you were putting the weights away.
Yep, that was the first one. That brand was like the dopest brand ever, in my opinion. And they were only in all the major cities, like, and they would only fuck with like super high end people. But like
Sport Club LA, is that what it was?
LA, yeah, but it got bought out by Equinox.
Oh, okay, then that's
probably like 2013, 14, Equinox bought it.
Yeah.
So like it transitioned from Sports Club LA to Equinox.
Yeah, because those are $1 billion brands, man.
Yeah.
Equinox is a but I trained in Equinox for a while. That's the gym that you go to where you don't want to get bothered, too comfortable, but you got your eucalyptus towel.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely not an elevation.
It's not
like you know what I mean?
In Boston though, that's probably like the spot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably like the spot. Because that gym in Boston, just to paint a picture for you, it was like, it's 2 floors, is like 130,000 square feet, and it had like a cafe in it.
Right.
It was a scene, bro. Like anybody goes there and they just chill there all day. Like when you go to the gym, you go to the steam room, the locker room. We could do, like, it was like we would be there for 5-6 hours. Everybody was.
It's a vibe.
It was a vibe, yeah.
It's a vibe.
It was sick. And then when Equinox took it over, shit like became more corporate, obviously. And I was actually the last employee of the month, on a side note, just saying, at Sports Club LA.
Yeah.
That was dope. And then I worked my way up in Equinox. But I used to grind, bro. I mean, I still do. Right now I have 3 jobs. Like I've always had like 3-4 jobs my whole life. I like to stay busy, you know? So back then I always been like bouncing or doing some type of security type shit on top of, like, I don't know, like training and whatever. So like, anyway, I was working like mad jobs back then. It was a snowstorm. So I used to, like I said, I'd put weights away for the gym. So I used to do the day shift, like from like 5 a.m. to like noontime. And then I train a couple clients. And then I usually go to like I'd work out, then go to my security job. So, Boston, you don't know these people. Well, you know New York, but it's snowing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, dude, trains are fucking closed, couldn't go nowhere. So when that shit would happen, I would sleep over at the gym. And like I said, the gym's huge. So we had like an employee room kind of like this with a couch in it and shit. So I slept in there. Now, make a long story short, there's another half of the building that was like the accounting building, the accounting part of the company. It closed down once Equinox took it over. I forgot my phone charger. So I was just bored, probably like midnight, walking around the building, found a phone charger, took it the next day, put it in my locker. Halfway through a session the next day, I got fucking grabbed by the neck of this dude named Victor something, but he was like the CEO of Equinox. And I guess he uses that office like in his spare time, and it was his phone charger.
Right.
And he had a bad day, like got in a fight with his wife or some shit.
Yeah.
And dude, the fucking guy flipped out and called me a thief and shit. And like, didn't give me a chance to like talk or like put myself out. Again, I was like 22 years old.
Yeah.
You know, I came from like the streets and shit. And like the company just got taken over like 6 months into it. The dude just was like, get the fuck, like fired me on the spot. Like,
that's good. But he put hands on you.
Yeah. I mean, not like that. I didn't mean it like that.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
like,
but yeah, no, you just like, bro, I mean, at the time, the Boston Bruins, this dude, Dennis Seidenberg, is a defenseman for the Bruins. I used to train his wife, Rebecca. I got blessed training his wife because this dude, John Mello, who kind of reminds me of like, all right, so like, he kind of reminds me of like Turo, but like
Turo Mendes.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Turo, but like Turo's way cooler than John. John was like the Italian version of Turo. So
Okay.
John was like was a tough motherfucker though, but he used to do some shit and like sometimes like make a long story short, he didn't come to work one day. I think he got arrested or some shit. So like he was like, "Where's John? We don't know where he is." And he used to train this girl, Rebecca Seidenberg, Dennis Seidenberg's wife, and he didn't show up. So that was my like
way in.
Yep. And I trained her, and it was the first session we ever did. We trained legs, and then she bought 50 sessions with me right on the spot.
Wow.
And then that was my first client ever, and I never looked back after that.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
She's dope. And when I got fired from that job, she came with me everywhere I went, like to every gym in Boston. We left that gym, we went to another gym, stayed with me. It's dope.
Now, as a trainer, I've seen you also rock with other trainers, do sessions like Toro, for example, you know, and different people all around.
Yep.
Is that something that's like a camaraderie or something that happens like, yo, we got to train each other because we got to keep each other at top peak like condition? Or
I think you got to keep each other sharp, man.
Yeah.
And at the same day, it's like you going and having dinner with like a guy who works for you. You know what I'm saying? Like a dude who's like tattoos for you. It's the same shit. It's like we might not work under we might not be under the same company. We're all independent. We're doing our own thing. But at the same time, bro, like fitness is a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like if your profession is fitness, and not for nothing, my profession is making people's lives better and helping people. And like if yours is too, that's why me and you vibe, because we can talk, we can get better from shit like that. So like if we're bettering ourselves by, you know, maybe like maybe you had a fucking bad day, you're tired and your clients didn't show up and you don't want to train today, but I'm here, bro, so let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's accountability for one thing, and also it's knowledge. It's keeping you on your toes. It's a refresher, and it's just iron sharpens iron. Yeah, you know, and there's not you pick and choose who you fuck with and who you don't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So if somebody wants to get let's say they want to train with you, is there some type of questionnaire process, some type of, you know what I'm saying, I got to make sure that this person vibes with me type of, like, what's your approach on that?
I mean, I'm not a fucking dick, bro. Like that's part of the shit that like, I'm huge, like fucking turned off by this industry big time because it's so fucking saturated and fake. Like so many motherfuckers are like, oh, you need to apply to fucking for me to be your coach. Like what made you fucking special? Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. And like if these people are gonna pay you money, like I'm very big on customer service. Maybe it's just the way I was raised in the military way and shit like that. But like there is a process of doing things, but I'm not like, oh hey, like you can't fucking talk to me unless you fill this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like technically, I don't really like say that like I'm accepting new clients. Really, I just like watch people. Like if I'm gonna fuck with somebody in person, that's one thing. Like if someone hits me up from like a different state and they're coming through and they want to do a session, that's one thing. Like obviously I'll do that. Yeah. But like if I'm looking for someone that I want to train and like be a part of that, like I look for someone who's like they're part of my life and I'm a part of their life. So like 9 times out of 10, it's someone who's not really even looking for a trainer. And I'll end up like approaching them just because I watch them and it's that mutual respect and I can see that I can benefit them in some sort of way. And I'll try to show them the benefit and the value and like show them that like, yeah, we're friends, but the reason like we can do this too. You know what I'm saying? That's really the way I do things. I don't really like, I'm past that point of like putting ads out like, hey, I'll take on, you know what I mean? I love new clients and shit. Like that's great. But like, yeah, I definitely need to vibe with the person. I will take on anybody though, but if you ain't I mean, bro, like, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And there's definitely them type of people. Like I've had clients I fucking hate, but I've had them for 150 sessions. And you know, like at the end of the day, I'm very respectful. If I still see you getting something out of it, like it's hard for me to just like tell you to fuck off. Like, I don't really, like, have that in my heart because people have told me to fuck off, so I don't like doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, like, I'm just trying to be as genuine as possible. Yeah. Like, I see a lot of different things, but the people that I mess with is, like, to be honest with you right now, like, in person, I only have, like, 5 or 6 in-person clients, maybe 7. But they all train 4, 5, 6 times a week. You know what I'm saying?
So they're very consistent in person. Yep. Because how many in-person clients can you actually train
in a day?
Properly in a day, right?
Dude, that's the thing, bro. Like when I worked at David Byron Gym, and I have this shit on paper too. And I was actually talking to the guy who coached me this morning when I did this show. This was like 8 years ago. And I just texted him this morning because this is 35th year sober today.
Shit.
Yeah, right? God bless. Bill Anger. He was prepping me for a show, bro, and I was like fucking, I mean, I don't, my parents never gave me shit. I don't have money like that. I never come from nothing. It was just what I put into it. So I had to work in order to support my dream of being a bodybuilder and whatnot. So I remember I did 70 sessions one week on peak week of a bodybuilding show. 70 sessions, 70 hours.
You did 70 hours of training while you were training for a...
I trained 70 people.
70 people,
70,
right.
Well, 70 sessions, yeah, 70 hours worth of training.
Right, and you were still...
And then I got on stage that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It was fucking crazy.
How were you able to get through that?
Bro.
I mean, when you want to, you get through it, right?
Man. I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's nuts.
I'm fucking crazy, man. Yeah. Especially like, I mean, bro, like, I mean, just to like, I can tell you, I mean, everyone's different, but, and I'm not one to talk about myself, you know what I'm saying? But like for the viewers, and I want to educate the younger generation and shit. Like I've had a lot of good mentors in my life, but I've had a lot of people who were super tough on me. And then like, I've also like thought I was really fucking tough and I've got my ass kicked. And then I've also thought I was really like the fucking man. And then I went into the military and I got my ass kicked. And I thought that I could do whatever the fuck I thought, oh, you show up bodybuilding shows, you win that shit, bro. Like, look at me, I've been training my whole life. It don't work that way, dog. Like, you got to know how to pose. You got to know how to breathe. You got to know whose hand you got to shake at the right time sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You got to be in the right rooms with the right people. Because, like, I mean, for me personally, just on a whole other side note, bro, I'm an Italian-Irish kid. I'm a white Irish-Italian kid, you know what I'm saying? There's dudes, like, for example, one of my best friends, he's mad at me right now, but it's all good. Abner, right? Abner Logan. He's IFBB Classic Physique Pro. He's an Olympian. Ab is a fucking, you look at Ab, dude, and he's a fucking statue. You know what I'm saying? He's just sick, tall, 6'2", like shit just like flows on him. You know what I mean? I never had that body. I was the kid getting picked on in kindergarten and stealing fucking fat pills from CVS to try to fucking... Because I was like, bro, I look at my family and shit. I mean, like, my family played football. Back then, though, like, white people could play football and go somewhere, you know? So, like, my family, my dad went to Notre Dame, played football.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my uncle, he played football at Notre Dame, too. But my dad actually never really stepped on the field at Notre Dame. On a side note, he tore his Achilles tendon freshman year. I don't want to say any false information. But he got accepted. But, yeah, just, man, like, I always knew that, like, I needed... Like, shit didn't come easy for me, ever. Like, I was never that one to just, like, fucking score a touchdown on the first play. I got it on, like, 4th and inches, and it grinded through the fucking hole. So, I realized that shit, and I kind of just tried to, like, educate myself as much as possible so that, like, now it's cool because I'm at this point in my life where, like, I'm just doing things, and I don't even fucking know I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing things, and you're making things better. It's great. It's awesome. But, like, you really got to put the time in and the effort and, like, get your ass kicked and listen and learn and progress from that. But it doesn't come easy or overnight.
No, of course not. But it makes you a powerhouse, though.
Eventually.
It makes you a powerhouse.
Eventually.
I mean, that's the road
But you're
too,
building to be a powerhouse. Like, all that shit that we're talking about, bro, literally built the powerhouse that we are now. So, like, if you can take the hard way out sometimes, do it. It's worth it. Worth it. And when you're in them like shitty places, bro, like look yourself and be like, yo, you did that. No one else, man. No one else did that shit. You did that. Is this really what you want? Or is this like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of them conversations. You've been in a lot of bad places with like no phone to look at. You know, it's not like times now. You're literally staring at a fucking wall for like 8 hours and you're like, shit, like, what do I want? And how am I going to get it? That's it.
And in those moments when you're having those long conversations, how do you get the answers? Like how do they,
Just building little routines, building little steps that you can check every day, like little boxes, and just win the day, little by little.
small wins?
Doesn't happen overnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the small wins, bro. Like I didn't even start doing it day by day. I started minute.
Mhm.
Every fucking minute, I'd be like, yo, check the box. I breathed. Sweet. Now what's next? Another minute, still breathing. Cool. Did I fuck anything up? Nope. Like it's got to start like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to work towards a goal, getting yourself better, like for me, the gym, like for me, I wanted to be the absolute best at, the gym, and whatever that shit took me, like I was just down for it. So I wanted to learn everything about it. So I would go to the gym, and I wouldn't even go to school. I would dip out of school a lot of times and fucking go there and start training. Like I would pick a machine and I would just do it every angle, every way, every hand position.
Yeah.
Put the seat up, put it back. You know what I'm saying? Like do all that shit. And I just play with it. And I'd spend like 3-4 hours on it. I'd master one fucking machine. So then when the biggest dude in the gym came up to me and asked me a question, or like when someone like you came up to me, like tattoos, respectable, owns a business, and I'm like this fucking little, 19, 20-year-old kid. I'm like, bro, I got you. Like I could bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wanted to be fucking valuable, really.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be valuable.
Yeah, I mean
Build value. That's what life's all about.
That's
right.
I was just about to say.
But the thing is with me, I didn't have nothing to fucking bring. Like I didn't have the money or the family or any of that. So like for me, I just looked in the mirror and I'm like, dude, you got shitty genetics. You ain't got nothing going for you except like you're wrapped up with wrong people. If you can just make your body like presentable to the point where you walk in a room and they respect you just based off of saying nothing, that's what my goal was. Like I couldn't talk to anybody until I got into the room. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let's make this the best thing possible. Let's make it reactive and do things that are gonna earn loyalty and respect. Like if something happens, like someone takes you out and like someone like messes with them and you just fucking beat them up, and then all of a sudden you're the hero. You know what I'm saying? That was like how I earned my stripes growing up. That's how I earned my respect. And then it got to the point where I was beating dudes up outside the club, and then they're walking me in VIP in the club. And bro, I didn't buy a fucking bottle. I just know people.
That was the tough road.
Yeah, it took the tough way. Yeah, tough way. Yeah.
It was like the fullback. Fullback has to earn every. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, what I played too. Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, when you said fourth and it.
Yeah,
like
the fullback type shit, bro. Yeah, man,
fullback.
you just like, but like, dude, like I didn't even want to be a fullback. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a fucking running back. I wanted to score the touchdowns and look pretty and get the girls and shit. But I wasn't never like that. It was always the hard way. Like you could get it. And like it's there, but like, bro, you gotta work hard for it and develop character and all this shit. Like I said, I am very grateful for having these people in my life. Like there's one dude, Brian O'Hare. Like I was a bad kid growing up. I sold drugs in high school. I didn't go to school much. I graduated my high school with like a 1.3 GPA. And the only reason why they let me graduate is because I may or may not have had a romantic relationship with my assistant principal.
We'll never know.
I love you. But that's besides the fact. And that lady really helped me out. You know what I'm saying? She would literally like shut the fucking cameras off and let me leave out the side door. So at that very young age, I like could break rules and get away with it, which isn't the best thing for a kid, you know? But it worked out to my advantage. It filled that character. And I would leave, especially like junior, senior year, I'd dip every day, school, noontime. So there's this dude there, right? Every day he'd be there. He drove a van. I knew what car he drove. He had like a work van. He had an HVAC company, so I'd always see it out front. And he'd see it one day, dude, like maybe like a couple months into it, he'd just be like, yo, kid, like, why aren't you in school? And I'd be like, fuck school. He'd be like, all right, well, if you're so tough, come to the fucking gym with me every day. Like, meet me here at noon, we'll train. Like, all right, cool. Like 3 years later, training with the dude every day. Became like my best friend. He was like 40 years old at the time. His name's Brian O'Hare. He had that HVAC company. Like Me and my mom, my dad, I had like beef with my parents growing up. Like I moved out of my house when I was like 15 years old, and I was just like living with different like my friends' families and shit like that. This dude like gave me a job. I worked for his company. He gave me a shit ton of work, and like even in between, like we'd go to the gym, and then like it was sick because then we would drive like his truck in the morning. We'd go to work together, and it was just like education time. You just ask him about exercises and all this stuff. And then, I mean, you want to fast forward a little bit more into the story that I didn't even know about. Turns out this dude's the fucking biggest steroid dealer in South Shore.
Really?
So every fucking day was just science class, chemistry, talking about compounds, what works, grapeseed oil, different types of shit you can make shit with, how to make it, all that stuff. And then we're coming home like before his kids get off the bus because they're like almost the same age as me, which is kind of weird. I always thought. True. But like, bro, like literally like this dude, like like I was his guinea pig, bro. Right. Like we used to get shit and like he'd make stuff and like he'd teach me how to make it and then we fucking do it. And like I was a pretty good, there was like 4 good football players on my team, you know what I'm saying? And then they were obviously my best friends too. These dudes end up coming to the gym with me, all this shit. They start chilling with him too. We all start doing it. Like by junior, senior year, bro, like I already did like really hardcore like steroids, like trying and all that shit, like just by being around there, you know, being around that dude. So like I'm going in the gym and going fucking crazy. Like squatting like 4 plates for 12 reps. Like
what year is this?
This is 2011, 2012.
2011, 12. Okay.
All right. 2011, 2012. Because like just to paint the picture, my junior year, like my football team, maybe like 3-11 or some shit like that. Our senior year, undefeated.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Took over the whole.
Dope. Yeah, super
shit.
dope. But we also like had like criminal charges and shit, like roid rage all the time. Like, cause like you give kids alcohol, like I mean, bro, I had a fake ID when I was like 16 too. Sure, you all know how that is. So you go to the Chinese dude, you go in the back, they don't fuck with you, they give you the beer, whatever, and then you're on trend test and drinking alcohol and then sometimes cocaine and 16 years old and then going to high school. Yeah.
What's the reality of the roid rage? Like if you're just doing like steroid, let's say, without all the other stuff. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen different people do different things or whatever the case is, but is that something that if they're not prescribed is when you get it, or how does that work? Or it depends on the person. I think
it's different for everybody. I think like at the younger years, like in your younger ages, you don't feel as many side effects. It's really when you start being in like just getting responsibilities because you got more shit to worry about, right? Like when I was fucking 15, 16, bro, I still think about those days. I was like, God, like because you got no worries in the world. You're just driving your car, you're doing whatever the fuck you want. It was great, you know? But now as you get older and if you have like, you know, kids or responsibilities and like, or maybe things that are already like in your life that happened and then you start doing that stuff on top of it, it can just affect you in different ways, you know? Doing different doses can affect you in different ways. Now, you know how it is with the FDA and the science and all this shit. Every 5 years they change their fucking mind. Like 5 years ago they were like, oh, you know, like higher doses get you more muscle and shit like that. Now they're saying like lower doses like is really all you need. I think it's true. Like lower doses is worked great for my people and myself and like my tests and everything. But like I've tried everything. Like that guy I mentioned to you earlier, my first steroid cycle leading into my first show was 800 mgs of Trenbolone, 800 mgs of Masteron, and 1,000 mgs of test a week at 21 years old. Fucking nuts. That's a shit ton, bro. Yeah, that's called fucking death sentence. Really? That's called fucking, I see, like, dude, like, thinking back at it now, at that time, I just thought that shit was normal because it's crazy. Because think of it, my 3 other best friends were fucking doing the same shit. So, like, if I'm going to sit here, me and you are going to smoke a blunt after school and talk about how we're feeling, like, bro, I see fucking red when I get mad. Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Same. All right, cool.
Yeah.
You know?
That's your team and that's who you're hanging out with.
Yeah, bro. It was that type shit. So, like, we just were like, oh, it's normal.
You also become who you surround yourself with.
Facts. Yeah.
When did you slow that down or have you kind of like come off of it a little bit or something?
Oh
like
no,
that?
well it's all learning experiences, right?
Yeah.
So like through those times, like that dude Brian was like one of the mentors in my life. I could say a bunch of them, but like he was definitely the first one that like he was like my dad. Like I love that dude. I'd do anything for him. He kind of like was like, yo, you know, he showed me you got to wake up and go to work. You got to work. You can't not go to work. I respect this dude. I don't want to fuck him over. He's counting on me to, dude, sometimes we do fucking weird shit. We'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and go in like the VAs in Boston and like cut copper pipes out and shit like that. So like I'd be like, oh, I mean, I don't want to piss this dude off. Like I'm gonna fucking be there. I'm gonna be there 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Because I respect him and I love this dude and he's done so much for me. He's done more for me than my parents have. Dude gives me money, he helps me out, like fucking taught me shit that I want to learn about. You know what I'm saying? Like I do anything for him.
Yeah.
So that like was like exponentially part of the whole fucking journey.
So would you tell somebody, like, for example, hey, the first thing you do is try to get a mentor?
I would say so, but I don't think like try to get a mentor, bro. I think do this shit on your own. Don't ever rely on anybody ever, because Brian has fucked me over a shit ton of times. That dude, he's fucked me over too, 100. But bro, at the end of the day, you're my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you fucked me over, and you've done more for me than anybody else has.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I understand. But like, dude, I'm not calling him every day now, and I'm 30 years old. I was calling him when I was 16, 17. Let's be real. If you're a 40-something-year-old man and you're chilling with a 16, 17-year-old dude every day, and it's just maybe you're fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bro, but I mean, I'm very fucking grateful for you, dog. Like,
of course.
you linked me up with so many motherfuckers that, like, dude, it got to the point where Brian was in the union with the pipe fitters. So he told all the other pipe fitters at the gym that I was like this young kid willing to do work and shit. Through that, these other people, like this guy Colin Chapman, owned a couple properties. He would pay me to like go like clean up like fucking shit under like his house, or like mow the lawn, or like do shit like that. Like I was just doing odd jobs just to like make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like through that, like I'm very grateful, because like that dude opened that shit up for me big time. And then
No, and it's great that you're grateful for it, because you look back and be like, wow.
Yeah, but you said like get a mentor is like really what we're going on. But like what I'm saying is like I didn't wish for that to happen. If he didn't hit me, if he didn't come to the gym to me that day, I would still be going there every day.
Yeah.
I'd still be doing the same shit. I'd buy drugs off someone else eventually, and I'd figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd get another job. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. You know?
We just gotta.
You just got to take advantage of what you want, bro. Like you got to like. I mean, I know like what pisses me the fuck off sometimes, dude. Like I'll ask my girlfriend, I'm like, yo, like, what do you want in life? You know what I'm saying? She's like, I don't know. How the fuck do you not know? You know what I'm saying? How the fuck do you not? That's like a turn off to me. Like I just always knew like whatever I want, it ain't here. That's for damn sure. Like get the fuck out of this fucking environment, this situation where like the police know my name. I fucking hate my family. I don't feel comfortable sleeping at night. I got to get the fuck out of here. How the fuck can I get out of here? Cool. You can only do drugs so many times until like you're fucking numb and you're waking up, and then I do drugs, and then I go to the gym to just mask what the fuck is going on. Do drugs so you forget what's going on at night, wake up and go to the gym and hurt yourself. That was like a repeating cycle for forever. And there was no path of anything. I just figured it out on my own that like, dude, I could easily have stayed and chilled with Brian and like worked there the rest of my life too. But you know what, bro? I'd be in jail or I'd be dead. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be alive. That's for sure. Because I'd still be in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that was my future. I'm fucked. How do I unfuck myself? Military.
and you went into the military. Tell me about that, man.
Yeah, so I went into the Army.
You enlisted in the Army. What
Yep.
You were how old at the time?
I was a senior in high school, and my birthday's in August, so I was like a little older for my grade. So I was 18 when I left. Yeah, I was 18 when I left, and pretty much like my grandfather was in the military. I was respecting my grandfather. I always went to like my grandfather would have reunion shit type stuff for the military. We used to go do it as a family when I was younger. It was like a really good time. My Italian side of the family, there was 13 grandkids. So it was like, and I was the youngest one at the time, so it was like a party for me. You know what I'm saying? And I always loved that shit, and I always like liked seeing his guns and like that stuff always made me happy and all that.
Yeah.
So pretty much like I was just like, bro, I know the military's structured right now. Like I haven't even touched on this shit, but like before the military, I went 3 rehabs and 2 mental hospitals
Prior to
going into the military as an adolescent.
Right.
As an adolescent.
So what's that, between like 15 and 18 type
Yeah,
of thing?
15 and 18. Yeah, 15 and 18. My last time I got in trouble was like, I think I was like 17 going into being 18. Like I was selling cocaine, and my mom fucking hated me. And like I said, I moved out when I was 15, but like sometimes they let me back in, sometimes they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, like she let me back, and I was living at the crib for a little while, but I was like bagging up drugs to bring to school to sell to people. And my mom, I'll never forget, like she opened my bedroom door, and I was like fucking had a bunch of drugs out, and I fucking pushed the door on her so she couldn't come in. What are you doing? Like, caught, fucking caught, whatever. So I'm like, oh shit. So fucking finish what I'm doing, go to school, like nothing ever happened. And then like the later that day, like I would do this often, but I left school, right? So I left school with my 2 other friends, Christina and Alyssa, and we were just, I think maybe just smoking and driving around. And then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up. My boys are hitting me up. This is like back when like the Nokia, like big phones, everybody's.
I remember those.
Yeah, right, yeah. The bricks. So everybody's calling me, and I'm like, shit. Like they're like, bro, the police are here looking for you at the school. And I'm like, what you talking about? Like, yo, the cops are here looking for you. I didn't do shit. They're like, yeah, like they're here, bro. Like you, like don't come back, whatever. So like, when that shit happened, then my parents realized that I wasn't there, and then it turned into this big deal. I ended up like just on the run for like a little while. But then I ended up getting like turning myself in, and I figured I found out that my mom said that I beat her up with a 5-pound dumbbell. Oh shit! Before I went to school, I called the police. I never beat my mother up, bro. I never hit her. But I mean, she'll probably tell you. She probably won't even like acknowledge this if you asked her. But she obviously lied to get me in trouble on purpose, and that got me sectioned into a mental, rehab, adolescent rehab first. That was the rehab one, and yeah, that sucked. That was crazy. You just with a bunch of fucking 13 to like 17-year-old kids that were nuts, and
you think she ever did it for your protection, or you think
I think she did it. I mean, I don't agree with her. I don't agree with it. I would never do that to my fucking kid. I would never do. I don't agree with this lady. Honestly, I kind of still fucking hate her. I really do fucking hate her. But I mean, I try to have a relationship with her to this day because she's my mother, and you can only have one mother. But I think that she just gave up on me. To be honest with you, if it was me or you, I would like to think that she just felt so hand-tied that like she didn't know what else to do.
Right.
So like if I could get him arrested, at least he'll go somewhere, and then he'll see that this is serious. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was her thought process, but that would be my thought process.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how that's what I took out of it. That's what I try to tell myself, at least. You know what I'm saying? So so when that shit happened and I went away for that, like, it was just a huge eye-opener. Like, bro, I don't trust nobody. Like, my own mother fucking did this shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm definitely getting the fuck out of here. So when I got out of that place, I went back to school. Things went by, whatever. And my mom and I were always beefing over stupid shit. I had some stuff at the house. I wanted to come over and get it. And I wasn't allowed in my house. While all that stuff happened in the mental shit, like, my mom ended up getting a restraining order on me, too. So like that sucked. Like going, a lot. Well, bro, I remember being like, what, like 15, like 16 maybe. So this was like when I was I think this was when I was 15. Like I didn't even have a license yet, and she came in the court and like I'm sitting there in shackles, and she fucking came in and was like, yeah, I want a restraining order on him, and like wouldn't even look at me. So like,
that's tough.
That triggered me, bro. I could see it still. You know what I'm saying? So like. Ever since then, I'm like, all right, it's me against the world. This is it. No one's going to help me or get me out of these situations. I'm going to do it on my own. So, like, I definitely, like, partied and figured and got all that shit. out of the way. But that's like a whole nother story. just to bounce back on like this whole thing with my mom. Like she got me locked up the first time, and then I continued to be a fuck up. And then when I was going home, because I wanted to get some shit out of my crib, I wasn't allowed there. She called the police on me as soon as I got in the grass. I've also been arrested twice for beating up my dad. I left that. There's a lot of shit. But this was just like, I'm very grateful that I got it out of my system at a young age. But when all this second time, well, she has a restraining order on me and I hate her at this point, I'm fuming and I'm not even allowed in my own house. This is when I did probably the most drastic shit I've ever done. And I fucking, like, I went in the shed, make a long story short, I got a 5-gallon thing of gasoline and I poured it all over her and myself. And yeah, and I was like, fucking ready, let's go.
So now looking back into that and where you're at now, because obviously you're in a totally different place. Mm-hmm. You became, it's like over a couple of years, we become different people. It's like you become a better, you know what I'm saying?
Better, in every way.
Yeah. Looking back, you're like, would you do it again? Or would you take a different step now that you're at where you're at now?
Where I'm at right now?
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to say that I would like to take a different approach, obviously. If I could go back, I would like to take a different approach, but to be honest with you, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I mean...
It would never work. It was just never, I was just never meant to be in that place ever. Like, it was just not meant for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I did was just like, I'd get in fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Like, the spotlight was already on me. I was just fucked from the beginning. So, like, it was, yeah.
So, are you planning to stay in Miami?
Yeah. Oh yeah, bro. Looking at buying a house right now.
Yeah. Where in Miami?
My girl and I, we're looking all over the place, honestly, like Sunrise, even like fucking Miami Gardens type shit. Like up and coming place. Really like a duplex where you could like, you know, put like live in one side and then rent the other side.
Yeah, and rent. I mean, it's. I mean, I'm learning from these real estate guys, man. Assets, liabilities, all that stuff. Really get into it. Yeah. Real estate is a good place to park money, and then money builds up over time. I think Miami's only growing anyway.
Right.
So, I've seen the market go. It's really just going straight up. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a good way to park money. So we were talking earlier about merit, about what America is, what success is. What success mean to you?
At this point in my life, success is happiness, bro. Facts. I would say that would be my most accurate description of success. Because I see a lot of people with material things, especially like just being, just past experiences, being in the army. You see some of the happiest people with like some of the least amount of shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like, yeah, that's really what I guess it's all about. It's really about just making yourself content with what you have.
I see that also too. Like for example, in your social, you like to live your life. You're vocal. You do your thing, and you live, I think, life on your terms, right? When it comes down to it, like what do you think is happening right now as far as like the political scene? What's your idea of what's happening right now in America?
America's fucked.
America's fucked.
America's super fucked, bro. How so? I mean, dude, what do you mean? There's fucking chicks and there's dudes with dicks and chicks with dicks and people going in dudes' bathrooms with dicks and no dicks. And I mean, the Olympics is a fucking mess. All this shit's crazy. Like the Olympics with like the boxer girl that's been knocking girls out, bro. You're a fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, how is that fair? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. The way I was raised, the way we, like, back in our day, like, when I was coming up, like, if you got a fucking problem, you hold it to yourself and you just put up with it. You know what I mean? Now, with social media and the phones and all this outlet of, like, people have an outlet to fucking complain and bitch. You know, like, if you have no friends back in the day, that was your fucking problem. And you go talk to your pillow and you fucking sleep and bitch to your pillow. But now, if you got no friends and you're in high school and you're getting bullied, you can go on the internet and say, hey, I'm getting bullied, #bully. And then all these fucking other people that #bully are going to be your friends and stick behind you. And even though that you have and then all of a sudden now you want to change your fucking dick to not having a dick. And now all these people are going to get on your side and it's okay, Angela. You can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, it sucks. But for me, like, this is why I was like happy to get the fuck out of the army. Like, Because, dude, everything is out of our control. Like, especially being a young man in the military, coming from like the experiences that I've had in life, I was a very like, I wanted to change shit and I wanted to like make my mark in things and whatnot. And I realized that like, this is the reason why that is the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You either need to be born into it or whatever to even understand it. So like, I tried getting into it and I saw like how fucked up it was. And it's just it was such a turnoff that I'm just like, bro, I can't even like,
It's almost like a black hole.
can't even invest my energy into this because there's nothing coming out of it. Like my parents weren't in politics. No, there's none of that shit, you know? And like, yeah, dude, like I always wanted to be a cop and like, I always like admired law enforcement, even though I didn't like growing up, but I always admire, you know, I was in the army. I wanted to be that. That was always my be all end all goal, is to be like the most American, like type person out there. Like I really love the American dream and stuff. And now, unfortunately, there isn't one. It's impossible. It's not even a thing. Like we're not really fighting anybody. We're just fighting with our fingers on our phones.
Yeah.
People are just talking shit. And it's just like, you could either listen to it and get wrapped up in the shit. But at the end of the day, personally, I'm about action. And there ain't no fucking action happening. Like once there's action happening, then I'll get back into it.
Yeah, there's you know, I started writing about in my life, you know, one of the things that I started writing was like I have this ebook, right? And it just talks about like the pillars of really like the pillars of like overcoming yourself, and one of them is called actionality, you know, because without action you don't have shit.
I'd love to read that. Yeah,
man, I'd love to share it with you.
Please do, yeah.
You know, and it's short, but it's very, it's kind of like almost like I want to get into it too much, but actionality is one of the pillars, and obviously, you know, I have it for download for free on my site. Just is one of the things that I'm working on, you know, because I'm going in the road of like, you know, also just writing books and really writing about all my experiences, and even taking the experiences of everybody else and kind of like creating an amalgamation, like a nice, like source of material to uplift. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
And you know, I agree with you. And when it comes down to it, I think that the real enemy is confusion. Anything that tries to confuse you is kind of like is like an enemy.
There's a lot of confusion.
There's a lot of confusion.
There's a shit ton of confused.
And the confusion happens when you're not taking action, bro.
Right.
When you're just like sitting still.
No, you're sitting there waiting for some shit to happen. The fucking apple's not going to drop from the tree. Go shake it and fucking make it drop. You know what I'm saying?
And I would even argue, and it's not even an argument, but I would even add to it the fact that by getting people into their fitness, by getting them, you know, carving their body, checking their frame and all that stuff, that's a way to like battle against
the first step.
You know, is the first step.
The first step. Talk to any successful person anywhere, anytime, any point of life. They'll tell you that the one thing you can control is your body, is yourself. If you take care of yourself, it's not just gonna make everything else you're doing around you, but it's gonna make you respect and build love for yourself. You need to love yourself.
Yes.
If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not gonna perform to the ultimate way of your capabilities. That's just like set in stone type shit.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
But that's what they say. Like, I mean, I listen to dudes, like I've listened to a lot of different like podcasts and a lot of like motivational speakers, you know, and people when they hit rock bottom, especially myself, when you hit rock bottom, for an example, that first rehab I ever went to, there was a fucking gym. There was a gym upstairs, and there was a dude who probably looked like me, who like came like 1 hour out of the night when he could and would sit up there and let dudes like let you do your thing. And honestly, that was part of like, I mean, I already loved it at that point, but I loved it even more because I was like, damn, like I am so angry, or just like, I just not even angry, like on a side note of being positive, like whenever you're coming out of a bad place, and even in the gym and life, whatever, I tell my clients this all the time when they're getting ready for an exercise, because when people just pick shit up and they, you know, they just go, they're excited just to go. Control the things you can control. You know what I'm saying? Control what's in your fucking realm. What's in your realm right now is you can grab the weight. You can put your shoulders down. You can put your chest up. You can set yourself up for success instead of having to fix it 3-4 reps in. Like, control the shit you can control.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's the body's a machine. It's a perfect machine. All you got to do is just respect it.
Yeah, I mean, but you can control putting one foot in front of the other instead of grabbing the remote and watching TV or doing whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on you. No one can fucking do it for you. That's what I love about this shit, and
Yeah.
like love about the body, because like you wake up in the morning, if you do action, you have something to show for it. Like you've gotten stronger, either mentally, physically, some way, shape, or form. You're benefiting.
Yeah, you win the day.
You have to win the day, like we talked about. And like you said, sometimes people are so fucked up, you just got to win the minute, win the hour. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 minute at a time. Like just do one little fucking minute at a time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, you know, like for me, like your session at like 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. the next morning. Just worry about what the fuck is going on right now. What are we doing right now? How are we gonna make this the best way I am? Like, how am I gonna give you my absolute best this next minute?
Yeah, I
That's
think you're doing it right now. So
that's
says
dope.
a lot about you.
Nah,
You know what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate that, but
No.
I hope that other people figure that. You know what I mean? I hope that somebody, like, if you're struggling and you can't. Sometimes you feel like you're just in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to get out of your own way, dude. Just literally put one foot in front of the other. Like, just think, like, okay, like, go to the gym or try to eat healthy today, or do one thing that's gonna put you in the green rather than hurt yourself. I hope someone does that.
And I'm sure they will.
Good.
What's next for AJ? Like, what projects do you have going on? Where do you see yourself?
Yep.
You know, taking your company and your training.
Yep.
What is your goal?
I'm always working, bro. I'm always thinking. I'm always like trying to make shit happen. You know what I'm saying? I am like a competitor in men's physique. I definitely like want to go for my pro card again next year.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, like this past year, I haven't competed at all in 2024, and I don't plan to, because just like I've been focused on my business, my family, my relationships, trying to like up my life, like, because where my last name, I want to change that to the point where like it's not this anymore. This is the new shit. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like I really solidified that now,
Mm-hmm.
and so I kind of personally like won that. Now I can expand my. I've tried in this process too. I've been doing little business things here and there. A couple of them have been great. A couple of them haven't been that successful. So I guess it's just like keep trying shit until it works, man. Until like something clicks. Because right now I think that I just, like what we just said, I try to be my best person, like the best possible person I can be every day. So if I can bring that and then bring that to what my goals are, which are ultimately like, I don't want to be like in the gym all the time. You know what I'm saying? The be all end all goal is to try to do things like online or make
Yeah.
investments and stuff like that
Yeah.
to further the bit like yourself as a brand. But at the same time too, like I love like what I do.
Yeah. So it's a blessing.
Yeah, it is.
So if I know you said that you have basically the kind of like open arms to the people that want to train for you.
Yep.
But if somebody wants to find you, where can they find you via like where can they find you? Like I said, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, the best thing to do would be message me on Instagram. Yeah, at train_with_AJ. That'd be the best way to get in touch with me. I'm the only one answering my messages. I'm not like everyone else.
Good.
So like I like having conversations with people,
Yeah.
getting to know them and all that. That would be the best way to reach out for sure. But
That'll be the best way. So through Instagram.
through Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're like
All right.
anyone
Trump or
from-
Harris?
Trump, bro. Come on, dog. Come on, bro.
Humble every day.
But like, who the fuck, like, dude, it's so fixed, right?
Yeah.
Like, what? Biden dropped out, and then like Harris was like winning.
There was no election process. It just like bypass everything to be a president of the
Yeah.
United States.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I mean,
You know?
retarded. I'm happy that RFK dropped out and is like giving his back support to Trump.
Yeah.
I think RFK is a really good dude. I think I've educated myself on him this past couple months,
Mhm.
and he's wicked good with like what I do, like health and wellness and nutrition.
Yes.
And I think it's great because like I'm happy that he's not trying to go for president, because I think it would be better if he had a position like if I'm told that like because he gave up his spot, Trump's going to give him a position in like the House of Representatives. I hope that he gets like the health and wellness part of it. I think that he would really strive and help like the country out in that
They were even saying it would be good for him to be like the head of the CIA.
That'd be badass, bro. But honestly, I hope not, dog, because I want him to do this shit. Like we need him in like, because we're so fucked up like with America and the way the food is and the drugs are, and like people are addicted to fucking like medications, you know what I'm saying? And like all the way sugar is processed, and like, you know, Skittles are like illegal in like Colombia and I think France and all this shit
because of what they have.
Because of what they have in them.
I think that there's a lot of food in the same bucket. It's just that we don't get out enough. You know what I mean? So
you don't, And you read like, bro, like my girl, she's got this mass gainer shake, and she's like, oh, you know, I got this mass because she, like, whatever, doesn't want to eat. Anyway, I looked at the what it's made out of, bro. Like this long worth of shit.
Anytime you can't pronounce the shit, it's like
right. Like how are you telling? Yeah, it's like, dude, this isn't natural. So, but there's a lot of people that are like. Definitely now too, bro. Like being in the gym and shit. Like I have one client, like a couple clients that are like this, but they're like super. Like people are all about the holistic approach now and shit. Yeah. And again, I think it's great, but I think it's cool. Like keeps you into shit, like keeps you busy and working and whatnot. But bro, don't like fucking frown on me for eating like a Rice Krispie treat because it's in the fucking package.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I eat rice. Like everything has a purpose to it. But like what I'm trying to say is I think that a lot of this problem is like going back to like what's up with the country. People are just like want something to bitch about or something to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they just if their diet's like fucked up, they just want something to complain about. Everyone wants to complain about something. It's like poor me, you know. So we'll figure it out.
I'll instead of spending that energy into that, I'd rather put it into action and just go to the gym and do what I gotta do.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or like educate yourself, read a book.
Yeah.
Read your shit. Like get into that action.
I'm gonna share with you. I'll put it in there. And I'm gonna put all your links too as well, because obviously, you know, I think it's important for good people to attract good people and keep themselves around good people and people willing to learn and uplift. So that's really the aim of the podcast. So brother, man.
Appreciate
I honestly enjoy the talk.
I did too.
I enjoy the stories.
Yeah.
I hope they, you know.
I hope somebody gets something out of it. Yeah.
And thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. God bless. Yeah, it was dope. Man, it was super dope.
And all day, every day, Empire is the way.
Empire, baby.